All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 here on this next to last day of June 2025. I'd like to introduce myself, El Jefe, and I'm joined by my co-host of our podcast. Was it something we said? The Pope.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sporting his Pope hat, and you can see the sign over his left shoulder. This is what we showed last week, and Kevin picked up his and got it hung up. And what's your thoughts on your signage there?
I like the signage. I got some work to it so it can fit in when we record and show up a little bit better. But no, I love this thing. Awesome.
Yeah, cool. I wish I could have mine shown during the show, but I got a window behind me. I got some logistical challenges, but thanks for at least displaying yours. But mine is bright. Anybody looking in here knows not to come in when the light is on. So for this week, we got our usual topic lineup. First one is we're going to talk about this Dr. Devin Hoover, the Detroit neurosurgeon. We're going to talk about what's going on there with it looks like it's going to trial. Second, we'll talk sports. Second topic with the newly crowned NBA champs, and then we just had a couple of drafts wrap up for both the Pistons and the Red Wings. I guess also some breaking news we could talk about briefly is Malik Beasley he's under investigation for some betting allegations, and if found guilty, he's gonna owe me some money.
Yeah, get in line.
Get in line.
I'm getting paid.
Yeah. Third topic, we're going to talk about, our weekend getaway coming up here to Garland. I don't know which year this is, if it's number 4, number 5, or number 3 or number 4 of us heading up to Garland. But we'll talk about that trip coming up for the 4th of July. And then you got the jam and the message of the week. So with that being said, we could kick it off and let's talk about this murder case of Dr. Devin Hoover. For those that don't know, share my screen to show you the topic here. He was a neurosurgeon from Detroit, 53-year-old that was murdered a couple of years ago. I guess it won't let me these technical difficulties won't allow me to share my screen. Yeah, but he was murdered a couple of years ago in April, shot a couple of times, execution style, in his Boston Edison mansion. And suspect that's being charged with his murder. It's all kinds of evidence that supports the charges because stolen credit cards, cash, jewelry. This fool didn't waste time getting out there. I guess the weirdest thing about it, depending on how you look at it, is that this guy that's being accused was also Dr. Hoover's lover. They had thousands of text messages of tryst set up between the two. Had to each his own. Didn't mean the guy had to kill him. Looks like it was premeditated because he's being charged with first-degree murder. What's your thoughts on this case?
Yeah, like you say, the back scoop is on it. Yeah, they were supposed to be, former sexual partners and that stuff. Yeah, and my man name is Desmond Burks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you said, it happened in right here in the city in the Boston Edison district in my man's mansion. Like you say, he found my man, the neurosurgeon, naked, wrapped in a rug, stuffed in the attic in a crawl space.
Yep.
So after he done shot him, he done
rolled him
wrapped
up
my
and
man
rolled him up and stole all his shit.
Yeah, rolled him up and stole that. And like you say, the evidence, it's a lot of evidence against my man. They say after Hoover's death, about $21K was siphoned out of my man's account, his PNC account via Cash App. When the preliminary hearing started, they got a witness who recognized Burks in the security video and in a nearby store surveillance photo around the time of death. But also what's kind of crazy too, keep in mind that all these people who are testifying are also, former lovers of my man Burks.
Oh, okay. So we got an Epstein list growing. It sound like, huh?
Yeah, because it just says, when they gave them, because again, some of these guys, they were saying that he was calling them, asking them, help him get a gun, help him get the Cash App money. Then I think one of them asked for him, can he keep $200 to $500, 250, 200 to 250 for himself? And right, when they investigated, they saw this money was coming from, the Hoover's account. So this is the thing as the preliminary hearing started earlier this week. But he didn't kill him. And then also too on the news they were talking about they had a Range Rover that was that he done.
I think it was the doctor's Range Rover, if I'm not mistaken, because that was over on Coyle. I guess they got video or some sort of proof of him parking it over on this Coyle Street, it's 9900 block of Coyle. Everything he went to, I guess he was at Fairlane, racking up credit card fraud right after he shot him. So he didn't take long.
Yeah. See, yeah. So and again, like you said, the people testifying that he got they got in a diplomatic immunity,
Right.
We had these serious stories. These guys done just did wrong, but when I just saw the immunity, I just had a flashback.
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon, when my man from South Africa kept saying diplomatic immunity.
Right. the Danny Glover took him out.
Yeah, man. So again, this guy should get the same justice as he get with it.
Right. You know what I thought about, and you can relate to this, is what show did we like many shows, first of all, you and I, but it's only certain ones that we talk about every now and then. So what's one of the shows does this remind you of too? With the doctor, high profile doctor?
Nip Tuck,
yeah.
Dr. Troy Christian.
Yeah, Christian Troy, that's right. So I thought about Nip Tuck when all the details started coming out, because Christian was doing some crazy shit too.
Yeah, he was. But it's more to come. But
look at the other part of this. I don't know if you can see the screen. This fool also punched some old guy, 67-year-old guy, in the case of road rage. This happened a year after he allegedly killed Dr. Hoover.
Yeah, I can see the screen. But first of all, since I'm going to consider myself part of this elderly community, motherfucker, you ain't whooping nobody's ass at 67 years old. Stay your ass in the car.
Right.
Just serve some wolf tickets, throw up a bird sign, and keep it to moving. Ain't no sense of you getting out of the car talking about you gonna do something, because you see what he got punched.
One punch is done.
Yeah,
that's right.
So health alert. Stay in the car. If you got an AARP card, stay in the car. You ain't as tough as you used to be.
Man, it's Burks. I don't think Burks gonna be hanging out anytime soon. He got a lot going against him right now. He ain't got a pot to piss in, and everything is pointed like he going away.
Yeah,
for a long time.
It's definitely not looking good for Burks, and if he's the one which it goes to, then rightfully so.
And let's see if these names pop up on a blacklist somewhere for the people that's supposed to be testifying too.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, and maybe that's a sign of always been a sign of the, I don't know, unfortunate disenfranchised. But you gonna kill this man $21,000 that you trying to get out of his account, and some shopping sprees to that too. So, and again, right, wrong, and difference. If this guy is again, they said they were former, partners. So it wasn't like, my man was out there too, and he was just looking for something and picked him up. and he happened to kill him in there too. Now there's somebody that you were supposed to have some kind of relationship with in there too, and you just kill him like that to get you some credit cards and some other kind of stuff there too. No, so that's just cold blooded.
In other words, he's a piece of shit. That's what I call him, a piece of shit. But we'll
you get that title for a few people.
That's right. That's right. But we'll definitely be hearing about it in the news as once the trial starts. And I don't think it's going to be a long trial. I don't see it stretching out. So.
No, I don't see it going too long with the evidence and stuff they got to and how it's going. They can get Burks out of the way, but man, you just again, you just got to be careful who you're dealing with.
All right, so let's switch gears to our sports segment now, and so we got a champion in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder took out the Indiana Pacers 4-2. The game started out good for Indiana until Halliburton ruptured his Achilles tendon. I don't know how much it was going to help, but he had hit 3 long 3-pointers, and the next thing you know, he's being carried off the court.
Yeah,
it was pretty much downhill from there. SGA, to no one's surprise, got the most valuable player in the finals. NBA needs to do something with the finals for next year. And I'm not saying it's because Oklahoma City was in it, and it just seemed like the coverage was second nature to me. And I don't know if it's the crew that they had. It just didn't feel like previous finals to me. And it could be the teams that were there, the new teams. People just got to get used to not seeing the Celtics and Lakers, which I ain't mad at.
No, not at
Oklahoma City might be there next year. What do you think their chances of repeating are?
Okay, right now they're champs. They got everything intact, so their chances are good as of today because they the champs. Like you said, Halliburton, he came out with smoke. You never know, what can happen, and that's just one of the things that just happens in sports. Somebody goes down, the next man kind of goes up, but then you kind of saw that these guys that were coming in providing this spark when they had to do it all the time, what kind of liabilities and stuff that they couldn't do it with him out. So yeah, they wasn't as effective for a whole game as when they were coming off spark parts off the bench.
Yeah, McConnell. I think McConnell.
McConnell and stuff like that. But with Halliburton, quote another one of the guys we like in the movies. We may be, outmanned and undergunned, but we got superior mind and superior attitude. Mr. Steven Seagal from Hard to Kill.
That's right.
With Halliburton, that's what they had.
Nico Custodi.
With Halliburton, that's what they had. But without him, right, it was, they was done. And then OKC hadn't lost back-to-back games in the playoffs. Right. They only lost back-to-back games, I think, only twice during the regular season. So now we do got some other moves that's happening. KD is in Houston now.
I thought that Houston gave up a lot for a 37-year-old guy that's going to be tired of him after a season.
Well, if you look at the capital, but if you look at the personnel, I don't think they was all in with
Jalen
Green, and then they
Dylan
Brooks, so the core was my man from they young rookies and the other thing else they kept. They had the capital and the draft picks to give up.
Okay.
I mean, it was so many second rounders too.
Yeah. Speaking about draft picks, Oklahoma City got a boatload of first round draft picks from other teams that Sam Presti accumulated. So they could reload easily and, trade some of these young guys that's willing to be, maybe their reserves now that can be starters. And I don't know from a repeat standpoint. Yeah, they're the champs. You got to beat them. They're the champs until somebody beat them. But with Tatum's injury, he's out probably all of next year. Cleveland kind of showed you their worth. They just picked up Lonzo Ball in a trade. I guess some are saying it's a missing piece, but I don't see it.
How is Ball a missing piece?
Because of his ability to move the second unit when Garland is out. Then you got Giannis' situation. Is he going to be traded out of Milwaukee?
maybe. But Lonzo Ball, that man ain't played in 20 years. Shit.
Right. No, I agree.
He been hurt. So, again, like you say, you got this stuff here. We just need to see. I ain't the last 7 champs have been different. I mean, we kind of thought this Boston team was gonna go on a run with Tatum and Brown after they broke through and got it. But like you say, their chances is just as good as anybody else's right now.
Yeah.
I ain't hype on the Lakers. Everybody
Not at all.
Stoic franchise to be there and them, but
Not at all.
with how they roster constructed. Yeah, they got to make some moves and other stuff. They got to get younger. They got to get like these other teams and like other teams are going to with the youth and that stuff. There,
Well, if you watch Dallas, I mean, they got a pretty good squad building up. With Cooper Flag going there, and if Wembanyama comes back healthy, San Antonio got a decent squad. The West is stronger than the East by far. I guess it's a good time to segue into the draft picks of our local basketball team, the Detroit Pistons. They haven't done anything yet in free agency. There's been no trades. So I'm going to show you who our second round pick was, since they didn't have a first round pick. 6'4" senior Chaz Lanier out of Tennessee.
I thought he was 6'5". I hear what?
No, hey, it's funny you say that, because a lot of these kids, young men, I should say, they got shorter and then lighter once they got to the combine in Chicago. They measured out different from what they were listed at in the their team sites. So yeah, but he's 6'4", as you can see on the screen, average 18 points. I guess the biggest thing that the Pistons liked about him is that he shot 40% for 3-point range. Before today's news of Beasley's investigation, they said that he could team up with Beasley and Schrader. And it's no luck that Schrader's coming back either. I'd like to get Schrader back, but the guy can shoot. He's got a strong build. And this is what the Pistons lack. This is someone that can shoot the ball from 3, which is the way the NBA is today. There's no more running full offenses and, dumping the ball down low to your center. You got a 3-on-1 fast break. Nobody going in for a layup. They going out to the corners and the top of the 3-point line. So that's the game, and the game's all about shooters. But we'll see if this guy makes a difference. He's a second round pick. All right.
Exactly. And that's what we got to go with. And You're right. Hell, even during the finals, you saw the 3-on-2 fast break. My man was in the paint and threw it back out for a 3.
Right.
So, take the layup, man. That's what I'm saying, but they running that too. Mm-mm. And yeah, I was looking at the current roster and say, well, how does this guy kind of fits in there? They say he's a shooter. Other part of the game, defensive part of the game, say it's something that he can develop. But again, he's a second round pick, and he was, we had, what was it, 37 pick in the second round?
Yep, 30 pick.
Right, but then also too, the point guard from Tennessee, as I hear they signed him to a undrafted free agent summer league contract.
Yeah, they'll both be in Vegas.
Point guard. So again, with both of these young men going second round, and it's some gems, and people put the work in, and it's elevated their game and stuff. But when you kind of look at our roster and kind of how it is, Duren is the really only guy with the highest 6'10".
Right.
Everybody else. I'm looking at this sheet here of the people. I don't even know who Bobby Clinton is.
Yeah, he was a rookie from last year. I mean, he spent most of his time in the G League.
Right. So he was 6'9", but Beasley was 6'4". They got Cade at 6'6". Simone Pacheco had him at 7. Hardaway Jr. got him at 6'5". Ron Harper Jr. you got him at 4. Tobias Harris, you got him at 6'8".
Small team.
Ron Holland, yeah, you got him at 6'8". Then Ivy, what they gonna do with Ivy? He the point guard. They got him at 6'4".
Yeah, but compare those sizes to let's use OKC. I mean, other than Hartenstein, they didn't have any guys that you were considered dominant at center or even at the power forward. They're built on defense and a superstar and 3-point shooting. Uh, so I mean the Pistons got a superstar in Cade. Ivy, not Ivy. I'm sorry, Duran. You remember Don Reed from back in the day?
Yeah.
I remember having me and Freddie was talking one time, and we said Don Reed coming to the game for the first time with 4 fouls already. And it's the same thing with Duran. When he gets tired, he takes stupid fouls, and there's no backup other than maybe the guy you see on the screen, Isaiah Stewart. But they need a rim protector, and maybe they could find a gem in the summer league that, again, it starts, I think it runs through July 10th through the 20th in Vegas. I'm actually looking forward to seeing some of these rookies out there playing. And free agency starts Monday, tomorrow. So with
So we'll see
Beasley's
how
situation.
That
Yeah.
That's right, because Stewart's 6'8", and I forgot about Saza, he's 6'2", Schroeder's 6'1". Then you got Thompson, 4, he's 6'6". So yeah.
Yeah.
But like you say, modern NBA come down, positionless basketball and that stuff there too, 16, you the rim protector. It looks like you at least need a couple big guys for that. But other than that, yeah, they running just a race to the 3-point line.
I don't know. I mean, and it's of course you see it in college. You see it. I haven't seen any high school games, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you're probably seeing the same thing at the high school level and definitely the AAU level. But that's where the game is at right now.
Yeah, thank you, Steph.
Thank you, Steph. All right, let's talk about our other pro team that had a draft this weekend. That's the Red Wings. I don't know. As you know, I listen to a lot of sports radio. The consensus was there's no reason to have made this pick. The voices, the talking heads said package this pick with one of the up and coming players and go get a veteran, somebody that can come in and make a difference. But I guess Eisner said no, I'm going to do what I want to do, and he used the pick on this Carter Bear, 18-year-old, played in the Western Hockey League. I don't know shit about him other than what I've read. I don't think you're going to see him for another 5 years, probably the way the track record is for these Red Wings. I don't think the team is better than it was last year when they missed the playoffs for, I think, the 8th straight year or something like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Not starting off. But they say this young kid can score, and he can score in many ways.
Yeah.
But like you say, they're prospects, and again, hey, I don't know much about hockey and the prospects and how you should look and that too. And again, a lot of these kids that's drafted, they like you say, they go to college and play and then, come to the team. Only, like you say, the exceptional ones that you hear will come on, get on the team and play. So
David,
yeah. Bedard, yeah, and a lot of these guys who were drafted, that's what they were saying. Well, yeah, his brother was drafted a year ago, 2 years ago, and he's playing at college and so on that too. But then they also took another 7 guys in the second round. So right wings, left wings, Bodie, and all this other stuff. Like you say, and until they come up, I agree. As far as the current team and how it's constructed to get them over the hump, to get them to the playoffs, instead of them going through these slumps. They come out hot going in, then they just start losing. Then now you trying to catch up at the end and come up short. They did that the past couple of years. So if the key is, if you got enough of these picks, I agree. Package something up and try to get you somebody to get you to the hump. But
yeah,
they're not in a position yet to be ready to win the cup. So maybe that's why he kept the pick, and they like what they saw in this guy to get him into the system, and then we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you can see his stats. He had 40 goals last year. He also had an Achilles injury back in March, so it's not like he was coming to play. But you won't get a chance to see him skate with. I don't know what the Vegas version is for hockey. For I don't think they have one. I think the Wings usually go up north with their rookies, and there's no interaction with other teams and rookies. But so we won't get a chance to see this guy, and from the guy we just talked about for the Pistons draft pick, we'll see him in the summer league. More than likely, he'll make the team and get
Yeah.
some major playing time. Where this kid is 18, Lanier is 23. The basketball player, this kid's 18. He turns 19 in November, but his body isn't matured for the rigors of NHL hockey. He's no Matthew Tkachuk.
No.
You can imagine him going into a corner with Tkachuk. It's two guys going into the corner and one guy coming out.
Exactly. So, like you say, he got to recover from that Achilles, and like you say, he got to put on some weight and get ready for the professional game. So he's got to develop. So his eyes gonna get the time, and is it gonna pan out? I mean, going this route, you hoping that you putting together a team and got some young talent and stuff that can keep you in the mix over a longer period of time than just trying to strike lightning in the bottle and kind of win right now. But they don't have that kind of veteran team, like that too. And then the salary cap rules in there too, because when the old man was alive, he kept them stacked.
That's right.
He kept the cupboard stacked.
Yeah, well, they have veterans. The problem is the veterans are bums. And, Yzerman, he was interviewed yesterday and said that he's not buying out none of those bums. He's going to keep them all on contract. The same guys that didn't produce well enough to get him into the playoffs last year is for the most part going to be the same guys that's going to be coming back for next season. So I just see this going to be another year of missed playoffs. They may start off strong, but we'll see if he makes a trade. But the team that they got now,
it's the same thing we got today. So why would you expect anything different? They fired the coach. My man come in. They won a few games after he got hired. Then they went, same thing. So
water found its level. That's what happened.
Exactly. So,
all right. Well, let's go into our next topic. Then Friday we'll be driving up north to the town of Lewiston, Michigan. For those that aren't familiar with Lewiston, it's about a 3.5 hour drive, and it's southeast of Gaylord, Michigan, and we'll be going to a golf resort by the name of Garland. I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to it every year. I know we got a smaller crew this year going up, but nonetheless, you can't beat the courses that we're going to be playing on, the solitude. The only thing that I ain't looking forward to is them damn bugs, man. I'm going to Dick's Sporting Goods. I got some intel on some DEET and some other spray called Repel, because I got some major bites last year, man. I thought I had tick bites.
Flies bite up there.
Yeah, everything biting. I come out of there. There wasn't no mosquito bites. I wish I would have got bitten by mosquitoes, but still, I'm looking forward to it, man. How about you?
Yeah, it's a good time, like you say. With the courses, we got the technical difficulty. I was going to show the different courses.
Yeah, I was trying to show it too.
Yeah, so I'll
definitely keep trying
different courses. But we played the Monarch, Reflections, Swamp Fire. What's the other one they got?
It's Fountains. Well, I can tell you what we're doing. 12:10, we got Monarch on Friday. 9:40, we got Fountains on Saturday, and then we got the Hayden Scramble at 8:30 on exit day at Swamp Fire. So those are the 3 courses we got this year.
Right. So Fountains, Monarch, and Swamp Fire.
Yep.
So we won't play Reflections, and then 2, they got a new 10-hole reversible par 3 short course called the Sawyer that they just added there too. So we'll go take a look at it and see that. We won't play it, So again, like you say, it's tucked up north there too. Just it's beautiful when you just get out there, and just the scenery and everything is just gorgeous, green, Yeah, and just a good getaway, get in, play some golf, bunch of laughs. The only other thing is, I don't know, the phone reception once you ain't got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So
man, It's terrible.
I think our blue tees is just gonna be for music on the course because
Right.
if we don't get no signal with the app, we ain't gonna be able to get no GPS to get the
Yeah.
yardage. So that's
I
a
thought I
bummer.
read
But
that they had made some improvements with the I guess they got their own Wi-Fi. Well, we'll see when we get up there. But to that Sawyer course that you mentioned, it's a walk only, so I ain't playing it. I can tell you right now, I ain't walking shit. Yeah, but and I'll be driving the cart all weekend. Andre will not be behind the wheel of the cart. He's permanently banned.
yeah, he don't even drive the car here. He knows getting to the
Nope.
passenger side.
Nope.
Your license been revoked.
Yep. Permanently. Permanently. No. So yeah, but I'll send out a text to our group to remind everybody about the tea times and the two setups for for the villas, the barbecue on Saturday, and just make sure everybody got the message. It's only 8 of us, but it's gonna be a good time, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a good group of eight, and we'll get to like you say, it does like when it's more, but they ain't just who could make it this year, so we gonna have a good time with
What we
who's
got?
there, with who we got.
All right, all right, my friend. We got a couple segments left, and they both belong to you. Starting with the jam of the week, and then you could take us home with the message. So
Okay, I guessed in time. Well, wait a minute. Well, the week jam of the week was keep. Let me see. Before this thing blink back out, is fella that I've been listening to for a good long time here. Name is Michael Franks.
yeah, Mike.
And what's playing in the background now is a new tune from Dragonfly Summer.
I can't hear it. Yet. You got it playing? All right, I hear it now.
Yeah, I mean, technical difficulties got it coming in and out. All righty. So, yeah, that was Monk's new tune by Michael Franks. Again, with some of the audio stuff going on here with the internet. I ain't got control over it until this thing
Can't
kind of
hear you.
operates. But that's it. Michael Franks. One of many albums. That was just that Dragonfly Summer album, and that's kind of Franks a couple years ago. Oh, he didn't got up there, but still put on a put on a nice show. As I think I mentioned in one of the other episodes, I have. All righty. Well, we
It's good
got a
too.
little extended version today with the technical difficulties that's going on. I had no, I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah, this was a good tune, but I could hear what you were saying. So, but
Yes.
it's always good hearing Michael Franks, man.
Yeah. So with that, the We Said message, I was like I said in one of the episodes, I had this book that this cat kind of gave me, got her picture on there from when she was young, but I just write these quotes down. So just over the years, I just got a bunch of different quotes and stuff that's in there. They may have a theme to them all, they may not. So it could be a random message of a few different things. So I'm gonna go into the page. I guess when I first got the book. I'm about halfway into the book. Let's see. December 2004. I guess that's when I started writing these quotes and stuff down. So I guess the first two quotes, I guess this one called is guess I got life works. This says always keep in mind with every day you rise, it's an opportunity to make a change. So change the things that you can and accept the things that you can't change because throughout it all, life is good. That's the first thing I wrote in this book here from December of 2004. Next one here on here is vision. Vision is when your eyes look at life through your heart. So that was another thing I wrote. And some of these things I came up with, some of them I done heard from other places, other people. I just guess just something that I just kind of just said, that's a good thing to kind of put in the book.
I think this is a book. Let me see the book. Okay, it's nice. That's an heirloom, and
Right, here's another one. It's just 2005, The Edge. If you're not living on the edge, you probably taking up too much room. Kind of popped up who I might have been referencing. The other one here, mistakes. The issue is not the mistake so much as to the actions taken after.
Learn from it, or you will repeat it.
You're right. So yeah, so it's a few things I got in here, but then I'll just end with, let's see here, couple things here. I'm gonna read three more that's kind of from this year. This one is called, what's this one says? Move through life within your natural grace. That was one. Second one is generally where there is no crisscross, motherfuckers are keeping score. What I was frame of mind I was in with that one.
You might have had a couple of sheets, a couple of drinks on that one before you wrote.
Yeah, I could have had a couple of Kentucky mules with that
Right.
one. But the last one for this week is, and this is one I just started thinking earlier, is don't match the energy, set the standard.
Go. I like it.
So we said messages, whatever you got out of those quotes, but you know, a little different themes there too. But these quotes, I hear them, I can hear something on TV, movie, something, or something can pop in my mind, and then I just write in the book. So it was just kind of interesting to go back and kind of see, you know, what I was thinking at the time or whatever it kind of happened. But, you know, I guess this book is kind of part of my therapy.
Appreciate you sharing those, man.
Yeah, it's kind of part of my therapy, you know, my written part, you know, with the oral part when I call y'all and we talk. So everybody needs somebody to talk to and some kind of way to express themselves so that you can move forward and look at life of what's ahead for you, then keep looking back on what's behind you and wishing and make the best out of there too. Because even with myself and personal experiences, if I dwell upon what I missed in the past and what I may have messed up, yeah, you know, granted, you learn from it, but also keep in mind the new things, the new people, and everything else that you've met along the way and what your future is.
Well said. You know, we both are blessed to have people in our lives that we could go talk to. And, you know, I know, I saw it this morning. I saw it yesterday, you know, I was, you know, dropping all them off, and I'm seeing these homeless people out there sleeping on benches, man. Like, who do they talk to? And, you know, to what you just said, you know, if you got things on your mind, and I could reach out to you, reach out to Sean, I could reach out to the girls, you know, I could talk to Nino, I could talk to Milo. Yeah, we got outlets, countless outlets. Sometimes, you know, it could be taken for granted, but I'll never do that for sure. So thank you for the message. Thank you for the jam. I might go put on some Michael Franks now after this ends, because it's a great voice. Great voice. All right. So with that, we wrap up episode 11 on this June 29th. We got a short week coming up with the 4th of July holiday. I guess we'll put together how we're going to do next Sunday's show with us coming back from Garland, but we'll make it happen regardless. So with that being said, have a good start to your week. Enjoy the fireworks tonight out at M1. Make sure there ain't no drones flying around.
Well, if they're flying around, it won't be for long.
Won't be for long.
Because they go and don't come back.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, have a good start to your week. I love you, my brother, and see you Friday morning, all right?
All right, love you too. I'll see you Friday morning. I didn't tell Andre the time, so send out a text.
Oh, yeah, it'll be in the text. I'll send a text out just to us three to get all that lined up.
So I told him get the cooler and stuff
all right,
together.
Good.
So
good. Okay.
All right, then, until Friday, my brother.
All right, man. Have a good one. Be safe.
All right, you too. Be safe.
Thanks.
Yep.